Hiromu Arakawa is back. Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out. It helps the channel out. It helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So, that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess K. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 1 of Demons of the Shadow Realm. This is a new series from creator Hiromu Arakawa. For those who don't know, Hiromu Arakawa is the creator of Full Metal Alchemist, the original mangaka. She created this series that is, like, in terms of its anime adaptation, probably the greatest anime ever made. And, like, I would even go as far to say is one of the greatest, like, shows ever made. Period. That's how good it is. That's how well written it is. That's how well, like, everything perfectly comes together in the end. It's as perfect as a show can really be. In terms of its writing, its storytelling, its character work, its action, its comedy, everything. It's a series that I've seen many, many times. On my own, with other people, with reactions. And it's a series that I will continue to see many, many more. As I showed off, I have the entire series on DVD. And, fun fact, I even got it signed by the voice of Scar, J. Michael Tatum. So, I am very excited for this new series. This show has been hyped up like crazy, and I haven't seen all the trailers and stuff. I saw, like, one trailer for it. It didn't show too much. I don't know what the plot of this is. I don't know anything about the characters. I've just seen, like, what characters look like and stuff. And honestly, that's enough for me going into it. Now, I will say right off the bat, we will be doing this in the dub. For those of you who are not a fan of dubs, I'm sorry, but we're doing it in the dub. And that's because it wouldn't feel right otherwise. It's one of those shows where it's like, because of who created it and because of what the creator's mostly known for, it just wouldn't feel right or reasonable to watch it in the original Japanese. It'd be like watching a new Pokemon in the original Japanese. It's like, how could you even, like, think about doing that? or like watching Bleach in Japanese. It's like, why? Why would you do that to yourself? Or a Studio Ghibli film. It's like there's some things, there's some anime that just because of who created it, because of like who it's by or whatnot, or even like what other kind of shows it's connected to. Um, I just feel like you can't really watch it in Japanese. But that's me. I know that's a me thing, and I know that's like maybe an unpopular way of viewing things, but it's like, for example, I could never watch an Akira Toriyama series in Japanese. Not just Dragon Ball, but like Sandland, I watched in English too, because it just feels wrong. It doesn't feel right. And I have heard Sandland's Japanese voices, and they sound fine. I have no issue with them. But the dub is superior. It just is. And I mean, with Dragon Ball, it's like the dub is like the good one. The original Japanese sucks. It is so bad. It's unwatchable. But with something like this, it's like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is one of the best dubs ever made. And it is infinitely better than the original Japanese in every way. It just is. A lot of the Japanese voices I don't feel like fit the characters super well, comparatively. And Demons of the Shadow Realm. I don't know like much about like how the story goes or how the characters are. But because it's another series by Hiromu Arakawa, I just don't feel right watching it in sub. I know that might not make sense to anyone else, but I don't care. It's my reaction series. I'll watch it any way I want. But yes, in all seriousness, I can't explain it any better than that. It's not something I fully understand, but it would actively hurt my like enjoyment of the series to watch it in sub. It's entirely a me thing. It's most likely my autism to some degree. I understand that, but I don't know. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it's just how I am. Yeah, I'm excited to see what this is though. I've been really hyped for this show. From the little bit I have seen, it looks good. And I've heard that it is pretty intense, which doesn't say much, but I have heard that. And so I'm excited to see what that means, because that could mean a number of things. But yeah, so this is just a full series we're doing. This isn't like a first impression or anything. Want to specify that as well, because it's like this was always going to be a full series reaction. Unless I don't end up liking it, which would be weird and almost impossible, I feel. With Hiromu Arakawa's writing and story work, it's like I just don't see that happening. But I think all of that being said, we should just get into this and see what we have in store. I'm excited to find out like how this compares and contrasts to Fullmetal Alchemist. So let's check it out. Let's see what this is all about. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. Welcome to the Afterthoughts, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I got the dub cast up here. Yuru is voiced by Ben George Stegmaier. is probably how you pronounce that. I apologize if I pronounce anything wrong. Um, Apparently he's been in stuff like Sentenced to be a Hero, Gachiakata, and Zenshu apparently as random townspeople and soldiers. Kaiju number 8, solo leveling. So a lot of more recent stuff, but I don't think like this is an actor I've really like heard of before. Seems to be fairly new overall. I guess Asa, the eye patched woman who came in, who's Asa, I guess found that out, is voiced by Molly Zhang, I think is how it's pronounced. Who's Yuriko in Genosha. Is in Clevites, also voices townspeople in Zenshu. And various other things. I'm not going to go too far down. Oh, Lady Gyokyo from Apothecary Diaries. There's a notable one. I'm not seeing any other more recent stuff that I'm like really familiar with. Okay. But I've definitely heard of Molly Zhang before. Dara, who is the guy who helped him at the end and everything. The I guess merchant is Jared Green, who I don't recognize the name of at all. Oh, apparently, at least in the video game, All's Justice, he voiced Shinso from My Hero Academia. I don't know if he's the voice of Shinso generally, but he's also apparently in Solo Leveling. Oh, there's another Shinso. Maybe he is just the voice of Shinso. Oh, he was in Dr. Stone New World. He's that one guard guy, Orashi. Okay, we've met that guy. Of course, I'm watching that in sub. We do need to get back to that eventually. Oh, he was Arai in Chainsaw Man. Okay. Attack on Titan. Spy Family. He was Bill Watkins in Spy Family. That's great. Okay, so I've definitely heard him and stuff. I just didn't know the name. Left is Colleen Klinkenbeard. Holy shit, okay. Now that's a name I know. Colleen Klinkenbeard is a huge VA. One of her biggest roles is obviously Luffy from One Piece. She's Erza Scarlet from Fairy Tail. Riza Hawkeye from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. We got a Brotherhood VA in here. She's also Yaoyorozu from My Hero Academia and so many others. She's a huge name. Colleen Klinkenbeard. Oh, she's Yuriko and Tojima Wants to Be a Commoner? I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Hell yeah. I did not know that. She also voices townspeople in Zenshu. Wow, a lot of people voice townspeople specifically. Yeah, she's a really big VA. That's awesome. I mean, we only heard a brief little bit of her performance at the end there, so I really didn't have much of anything to go off of. Wright, meanwhile, is Bill Butts. He's become notable. I'm not going to go through all of their voice cast here, but Bill Butts is someone I recognize. Um, Gabby is Michaela Krantz. That name does sound familiar, but I can't place where I would know her from. The old woman is Wendy Powell. Donji is Abby Kamar, or Abby Kamar, maybe? I'm not sure who that is right now. Offhand at least. And that's really the big names that we would have wanted to know there. Okay, so I think the biggest VA in this, at least that I can tell so far, is Colleen Klinkenbeard. Like, that's a big name. um, and again, it's great to have like a alumni from Full Alchemist Brotherhood in this, being it a Hiromu Arakawa series. Yeah, this was not what I expected at all. Because going into this, like I said, I'd seen like one of the very early trailers, and I didn't see much in regards to it. Um, But what I saw never implied that this took place in like a modern day setting. I thought this was going to be like some kind of like fantasy or like old school setting where it took place like well into the past. Um, but instead, we find out that this village is kind of like an isolated village away from the rest of the world, which apparently is at least to some degree modern day. And they had a barrier that was keeping the village. I guess you could kind of compare this to Wakanda from Marvel. They had like this magical barrier that was keeping the village hidden from outsiders, but also keeping the outside world hidden from villagers, which is why people normally aren't allowed to leave. Now, we heard that um oh my god, I'm trying to remember the names. Trying to get down all the names. Um it might take an episode or two, but I'll get them down. Asa. No, Yuru. Asa's the sister. We heard that, well, both of them. We heard that Yuru and Asa's parents left and seemingly abandoned them, but I guess really the truth of the matter is that they left with Asa, the real Asa, and that Yuru stayed here for whatever reason and was being told that this other girl was his sister. This other girl is clearly dead as fuck now. But maybe not, because maybe she was the demon that came out and helped them? And helped hold off the real Asa? I don't know. I'm not sure. Also, I'm definitely going to say demon over and over instead of Daemon. I'll get it eventually, but it's like... Again, it's like, when it's spelled this way, it can be pronounced either way. I've heard it pronounced both ways, like, in various media when it's spelled like this, so it's... I was just going with demon because it just felt like the most obvious. But I guess it's pronounced Damon. But yeah, either way. And so left and right are Daemons as well, and they're meant to serve Yuru. So that's interesting. This salesman guy, this merchant, he clearly knows everything that's going on and knows why Yuru is being, hunted down. It's interesting though, because Yuru is the only... They're literally like horrifically and violently murdering everyone there except for Yuru, who is the only one they're told like they have to keep alive and capture. Which means that he's definitely important to something that they're doing. Something maybe involving the Daemons. Or maybe something otherwise. I don't know. It's just we don't get a lot of information, which is obviously intentional. Like even Yuru's asking for more information. But this is more meant to be like a shocking, like big twist moment. I don't even know if like any of... I mean, again, I really didn't pay attention to all the advertising, but did any of the advertising spoil this? Because I really hope it didn't. Obviously, I don't want to know spoilers for this. I very much do not want spoilers for this now. But I'm just kind of curious if any of like the trailers that were released ahead of time spoiled this reveal. Because that would really suck if they did. I feel this reveal needed to happen like this. And the funny thing is, when they first showed the dragon trails, I did think, like, that looks like an airplane, trail. Like, that my thoughts literally were, like, going through that. But I kind of just, like, in my head, hand waved it off. Because I'm thinking, like, maybe I'm thinking too much into it. But then they show it again. They make a point of showing it again. And right before, like, the big reveal, too. And it's like, yeah, that looks like an airplane trail. And then when you, like... Then when the barrier goes down and everything, and it reveals, oh, it's a fucking airplane. It's like, ooh, oh, okay. It was... It was like a reveal that gives you the information you need to like figure it out ahead of time, but still somehow makes it surprising. And I like that. I really enjoyed that they gave you like these key little bits of information that could help you figure it out, but also made it so that it's vague enough to where it's like you may not really just clue in or may not fully um grasp into it yet. So yeah, fascinating. And then this Gabby character, she seems pretty interesting. She's, you know, using her daemon, I guess. This big toothy fella that looks like Pride from Full Metal Alchemist. She's using them to violently and horrifically just murder innocent people. Except she doesn't go after kids, apparently. I guess that's nice. But she horrifically like beheaded the girl's mom right in front of her. It's like even if this young girl does survive, she's going to have like everlasting trauma. It's just like Jesus. She has like there's no reason for them to be killing these people, right? They're just random innocent civilians. Like if they wanted to get to Yuru, they could have just like kidnapped him otherwise. Couldn't they have? It just feels like almost random. But we know it's not going to be because this is Arakawa we're talking about. Nothing is just random when it comes to her writing. Everything is going to matter. Everything's going to be important. The story's going to be so tightly written. Like, Hiromu Arakawa is phenomenal in terms of storytelling. And, like, I'm not even a big manga person. And like, I admit that. But I mean, like, you can acknowledge the strength of a story and not be a big manga person, to be fair. Yeah, this was not what I expected at all. Like, with the title, like, Daemons of the Shadow Realm, and not really knowing anything about the plot and characters and everything, like, I expected, like, there would be, you know, daemons in there. Like, that just tracks, obviously. But I didn't know, like, what to expect. I didn't know, like, what the daemons were gonna be like. I didn't know, like, if they were gonna be, like, enemies that we would have to fight. Apparently, they're, I don't know, Digimon or something. Whatever you want to compare them to here. Digimon, but much deadlier. This is just instantly fascinating to me. The story so far is really good. The pacing was good. The character work, art and animation looks fantastic. But Studio Bones, like we expect that from them. I'm so glad Bones is doing this as well. Because it's like with how amazing they did at Brotherhood, it's like no one else like would be right to take on Hiromu Arakawa's work. We didn't get an opening this time. But that's not too uncommon. A lot of anime won't give their opening for the first episode. But I could absolutely see this series like being one of the best anime in recent memory if it lives up to Brotherhood. To any degree. Because that's how good Brotherhood was and is. Yeah, I love it so much. I love it so much. It's even though I personally prefer One Piece more, just as like a personal like preference. I still say that like out of all the anime I've seen, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is the best one, like the technically best one in terms of writing, character work, everything. I have not seen anything that even comes close to it. Even One Piece, I wouldn't say comes that close to it. One Piece, I just personally like it more just because of personal preferences and certain, like, just my lifelong history with the series and stuff like that. It's just it's entirely a subjective personal thing, but Brotherhood is absolutely the better anime. It's like not even it's not even like subtle about how much better it is. And it's like that's just how things work. Like your favorite doesn't have to necessarily be the best. There can be many different regards into why something would be a favorite anime for you. That's even if it's not as like well put together. But again, Brotherhood is still my number 2. So still up there. I like the character designs. They don't look like just copies of like characters from Full Metal Alchemist. They definitely stand on their own. Like Yuru doesn't like you can see like obviously the same design style, the same character design style and model style as like others. Like you could compare Yuru to characters like Riza Hawkeye or Ed and Al to a degree. But at the same time, he very much looks like his own character. The overall design does make him look different. And Dara, I don't know who I would compare Dara to. I wouldn't say he looks like any specific character from Full Metal Alchemist, but he definitely looks like a Full Metal Alchemist character. And it's just like, just generally speaking. And a lot of the other characters look very unique. Left and right look very unique. I guess the real Asa doesn't really compare to another FMA character. But yeah, it's just like I'm really just loving this right off the bat. It is an extremely strong start. But yeah, I can't wait to see where this goes. So let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this first episode of Daemons of the Shadow Realm? Let me know what you thought of the twist. Did you see that coming? Or let me know if any of the advertising, don't spoil me on anything, but let me know if any of the advertising actually did spoil that twist. If you've seen more of it than I have. I really hope it didn't, because I feel like that would have like ruined the entire thing. Or at least like made it not as exciting. But this was fantastic right off the bat. I know there's going to be reactions to this, so I'm very excited to see people's reactions to this series. And I'm excited to keep continuing it as we go along. I don't know when this is going up. I know what this is replacing and everything. I just don't remember the exact date that this will be starting for you guys. I'm recording this like the Monday after it came out because I wanted to get to it as soon as possible. But yeah, it's just I just not 100% when it's hitting even Patreon at the moment. But yeah. Either way, let me know your thoughts down below, and thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.